If you've seen our recent video on Stomping Grounds, you know the show wasn't the disaster many fans predicted. However, no show is botch free and fans are always ready to enjoy a few laughs thanks to wrestlers' gaffes. With that in mind, join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at Stomping Ground botches, both before and during the show. Number 1. Tipping Point Ticket Troubles. As anyone familiar with the theory of tipping point knows, there comes a time where a person or business's cumulative efforts, either positive or negative, suddenly adds up, resulting in a breakthrough. Tipping point can be defined as the critical point in a situation, process, or system beyond which a significant and often unstoppable effect or change takes place. Here, the WWE's years of bad booking and continued mistreatment of fans led to extremely poor ticket sales for Stomping Grounds, a sign of just how much the WWE has turned off its fans. Indeed, ticket sales proved so poor that the WWE was forced to make desperate efforts to fill the arena enough so it didn't look like a ghost town. Stomping Grounds was held at the Tacoma, Washington's Tacoma Dome, a facility said to hold about 23,000 fans. However, Brad Shepard noted, according to a source in WWE, Stomping Grounds is the lowest sale for any special event since Starrcade on November 25, 2018. According to Ringside News, Starrcade had around 7,500 fans there when everything was said and done. WWE have produced smaller specials such as Halftime Heat and The Shield's Final Chapter, but since then, nothing has been that low. This led to WWE literally giving tickets away. Dave Meltzer reported, "Look at the pay-per-view in Tacoma. They're having to give away tickets. I mean, they're doing 2-for-1 tickets, they're blocking off all kinds of places, so 2 tickets for $20 for a pay-per-view? Unheard of." I mean, when's the last time that happened for a WWE show? In the end, Stomping Grounds' low ticket sales resulted in the WWE being forced to cover the dead space. According to Wrestling Inc., as was expected based on ticket sales going into Sunday's first ever WWE Stomping Grounds pay-per-view, the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington was not sold out for the event. WWE did not announce an official attendance, but there was reportedly a decent line for walk-up tickets at the arena before the show, and a lot of free tickets were given out today. The arena also had half the seating curtained off to hide the empty seats. Despite the low attendance, one topic on social media coming out of the event was how hot the crowd ended up being. As you may have heard, fans in higher seats were asked to move down to the lower bowl and floor sections in order to create the illusion of a full house. Dave Meltzer appeared on Wrestling Observer Live to discuss the actual figures for ticket sales, noting, "They were giving away a lot of tickets, a lot of 2-for-1, the paid was not good. I heard 6,000 in the building, maybe 4,000 to 4,500 paid. I can't remember a WWE pay-per-view in a long time where they did that little paid. I can't remember a WWE pay-per-view where they were giving away tickets at the mall either." Thus, Stomping Grounds delivered in the ring, but it didn't deliver at the box office, a sign that WWE has clearly lost much of its goodwill with its fan base. Number 2. The 48-hour botch. The WWE's ticket troubles wasn't the only pre-game botch. As Ringside News noted, on Friday 21st June 2019, the WWE Network announced, "WWE Stomping Grounds 2019 starts now. Watch the action live on WWE Network" was the notification that fans saw, but the show didn't start 2 days early. Fortunately, the WWE's mistake wasn't as bad as Jim Crockett Promotions announcing a late start time for their Bunkhouse Stampede pay-per-view, resulting in fans tuning in late and fans showing up late for the show. Number 3. The Titantron looks better when it's on. Wrestling journalist Brian Alvarez was on hand live at the Tacoma Dome to watch Stomping Grounds, and a tweet revealed a production botch from the WWE early on in the show. He tweeted, "May I politely request one screen to be turned on in this building, preferably the Titantron." Number 4. 205 Live botches. The triple threat match for the Cruiserweight Championship featured some jaw-dropping action during the kickoff show as champion Tony Nese battled Akira Tozawa and Drew Gulak in a Cruiserweight Classic on the pre-game show. While the match delivered lots of action and thrills, it also delivered 2 mistakes. In one, Akira Tozawa fell on the apron when it was clear he was supposed to stay there. In another, Tony Nese had Tozawa down for the cover and was waiting for Drew Gulak to break up the pin. Unfortunately, Gulak missed his cue, forcing Nese to subtly, but not so subtly enough, break up the pin as Gulak rushed to make up for lost time. While some saw this as a referee botch, it's clear that Gulak was a bit slow on the draw when it came time for him to make the save. Nevertheless, minor mistakes aside, this was a fantastic match and one that showed high quality of wrestling on 205 Live. If the WWE can only start putting 205 Live stars on the main show, fans might start taking them more seriously and tune into 205 Live every week. Number 5. Becky's Bellows. The opening bout saw Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch defending the belt against Lacey Evans, and just for the record, WWE announcers should be tased every time they say Sassy Southern Belle, as they repeated a nickname endlessly throughout the match. Evans clearly had some difficulty in the ring and Becky ended up calling many of the spots. The problem is that the man is known for her rather obvious calls that make John Cena look subtle. During one spot, Lynch clearly directs Evans into an Irish whip across the ring, then calls for an elbow. Evans herself seemed to have trouble keeping up, missing calls from Lynch to take moves, resulting in Lynch having to repeat moves because Evans was out of position. Fans had mixed reactions about Lacey's main event push so early in her career, and her in-ring gaffes didn't present a strong case for her push to continue. This clearly wasn't Evans' best performance, and Lynch's bellowing her calls didn't help. Not exactly the best way to start the show. Number 6. Ricochet misfires. The one and only dazzled fans with his incredible aerial tactics as he battled US Champion Samoa Joe, defeating the Samoan submission machine to the delight of many. Nonetheless, Ricochet got off to a bad start, tripping on his jacket during his entrance. The new US Champion was performing his trademark handspring entrance when he seemed to trip on his entrance gear, flopping down onto his face. Ricochet later commented on Twitter, saying, "Not my best one," and noted his cape's roll in his folds, saying, "I wanted to take it off before I ran to the ring, but I started running and thought, yeah, I didn't take this jacket off yet, dang." This wasn't Ricochet's only botch either. During the actual bout, Ricochet botched a landing when he took a clothesline from Samoa Joe. Later in the match, Ricochet went for what looked like to be a springboard clothesline, but ended up looking like Ricochet was in a different postal code than Joe, as Joe still sold the move. Fortunately, no one seems to have been hurt, and the match was a Stomping Grounds highlight. Number 7. Bad Mother Tucker. Heavy Machinery challenging Daniel Bryan and Rowan for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship may have been a hastily thrown together match, but like many of Stomping Grounds bouts, it proved to be a pleasant surprise. One botch did occur during the match however, with Heavy Machinery's Tucker going for a moonsault on Daniel Bryan, only for Bryan to roll out of the way. The only problem was that Tucker miscued his move, resulting in his legs still hitting Bryan, something the announcers mentioned to hide the botch. Heavy Machinery put on a good match, undoubtedly aided by the work of their more experienced opponents, and dealt with the crowd that was openly cheering their hometown hero Daniel Bryan. Otis and Tucker will hopefully get a rematch to show that they are a team to watch. Number 8. The post-win botch. Roman Reigns' victory over Drew McIntyre seemed to end the feud between the Big Dog and the Scottish Psychopath, but later in the evening, Shane McMahon spoke with Drew McIntyre backstage, telling him things weren't over. The problem was that the sound went out during their conversation, and while the fans got the gist of things, and that being Shane and McIntyre would face Reigns in a handicap match on Raw, the audio difficulties were inexcusable, as the WWE's become known for their top-of-the-line production values. The WWE needs to work harder to ensure things don't happen, because if they continue, it may be a sign of bad morale in the company. And number 9. The main event mistake. There weren't any physical mistakes in the Seth Rollins vs Baron Corbin match, but many fans saw the match as meaningless, boring, and made all the more mundane by Lacey Evans' role as special guest referee. The match dragged on and was predictable both with Evans' heel referee tactics, such as a slow count and changing the match's stipulations midway into the bout, and Becky Lynch's subsequent arrival angering fans. This led to chants such as "This is stupid," AEW, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and boring breaking out. In all fairness though, Stomping Grounds was a good show overall, but the mediocre main event left a bad taste in the fans' mouth. But there you have it guys, the various mishaps that happened before and during Stomping Grounds. Were you expecting even more mistakes from the show, and did these mistakes affect your enjoyment of the pay-per-view? Let us know in the comments down below, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.